Everybody, welcome to the Rose Bowl, and thank you for being here. My name is D-Burbank. I'm the president of the Rose Bowl Legacy Foundation, the nonprofit of this beautiful place behind us that preserves, protects, and enhances this place. And on behalf of our CEO, Jens Wyden, and the whole Rose Bowl operating company, we appreciate you being with us today. Today's an incredible acknowledgement of preserving some of the state's most historic and iconic resources. The Rose Bowl behind me just turned 101 years young last week, so what a great place to spend today's celebration of Senate Bill 96. As we get ready here at the Rose Bowl Stadium for the 2028 Olympic Games and expanded college football playoff, the regularity of the Big Ten Conference with our home team of UCLA, and so much more, this site behind me is more vibrant than ever before, as are the other sites that are affected by Senate Bill 96. Those venues impacted by SB 96 are drivers of economic impact to the local, county, local communities, and regions that they all serve. And in some cases, like the Rose Bowl Stadium, they put the state of California on the map as a tourism destination for this great state. These venues have impacted millions of visitors from around the world over the past century plus and continue to be vibrant centers of influence. This gate that you all came in today has seen over 100 million people come in through it over the last 101 years. And it's just a special, special thing, not just for the Rose Bowl, but for these other 4 venues that are involved in this. On behalf of Jens Wyden, our CEO, the RBOC Board, the Legacy Foundation Board, thank you to all who supported SB 96, especially Senator Portantino for his sponsorship of the bill and championing the vision, for the LA County Supervisors and Catherine Barger for taking the public positive stance on this Senate bill, for Congressman Adam Schiff for leading the way from DC, to the Governor for his understanding of the importance of this infrastructure initiative to the state's venues, to our government affairs firm, Campbell Strategy, Advocacy and Strategy, Angie Minetti and Greg Campbell, who are here today. They helped drive it up in Sacramento for us. And thanks to the city of Pasadena and all the staff for its continued confidence in the Rose Bowl leading the way for historic venues around the country. You're going to hear a little bit more about it shortly, but Mayor Gordo here in Pasadena had an idea, and it was to build an argument that amplifies the principles of the Mills Act here in California. That idea turned into Senate Bill 96, which Anthony took across the finish line for us up in Sacramento just about a month ago. SB 96 is now a law and will serve for the next 5 years the state's key historic venues that are multi-generational for families and communities around this state and around this country. Those qualifying venues are the Rose Bowl Stadium, the LA Memorial Coliseum, the Hollywood Bowl, Cal Memorial Stadium in Berkeley, and the football stadium at San Jose State University. We're very thrilled for that. The historic passing of SB 96 into law will ensure that infrastructure protection, increased patron safety initiatives, improvements to resource use like gas and water, and the overall protection, preservation, and enhancement of these multi-generational landmarks continue to be vibrant and bring our communities together the way they have for the past century plus. Now to get to today's first speaker in celebration of the passing of Senate Bill 96, Senator Anthony Portantino is from California's 25th Senate District. The Rose Bowl Stadium, thankfully, is part of his footprint, which stretches along the 210 freeway. He currently serves as the chair of the Senate Appropriations Committee amongst so many other things up in Sacramento. He's a past member of the La Cañada Flint Ridge City Council and was a 2-time mayor right here in our backyard. Really, really cool fact about Anthony. And he was the author and key champion of Senate Bill 96. Senator Portantino's leadership and his team moved the vision of SB 96 through the legislature, both the Assembly and the Senate, with 0 no votes, 0. That's a huge, huge thing to do up in Sacramento, and we thank Anthony for that. He's a proud dad, a husband, and a representative of the San Gabriel Valley in the great state of California. I'd like to welcome Senator Anthony Portantino.
I still remember the first time I set foot on the Rose Bowl was when my daughter Sophia was playing soccer, and they would do the opening ceremony here at the Rose Bowl for AYSO, and that was like the coolest thing in the world, to just walk out on the grass with 7-year-olds and just be in that wonderful place. So when Mayor Gordo came to me with the idea, which was a very creative idea about sort of using the fabric of the Mills Act to say, let's preserve these historic venues, let's invest in them, how could I not think it was a great idea? And so thank you. Let's give it up for Mayor Victor Gordo for his vision. And Deedon talked about the excitement here at the Rose Bowl. Certainly the leadership of Jens and Deedon and everybody, the Rose Bowl operating company and the city's love for this stadium. So let's give it up for the entire Rose Bowl team for bringing all that excitement. Because how can we not be at a sports venue and not talk about team, right? Because the folks who score the most points are the best team on the field. And so, Victor, what do you like to say? It's the center of the universe? So today we're going to call it the A-Team. So we had the A-Team working on this, and certainly want to give a big shout out to Supervisor Catherine Barger, who represents a number of the venues in the district, who was a big champion as well. So let's give it up for the supervisor. And of course, Campbell Strategies and the Sacramento team, we want to give it up, give a shout out for the advocacy up there as well. So we can clap for them. And all of the advocates in the coalition, you know, the Hollywood Bowl came up and testified. LA Phil came up and testified and said this is important to them, obviously including San Jose and the Coliseum. It was about the Rose Bowl, but it was about more than just the Rose Bowl. It was about, is California going to invest in those historic venues that have been entertaining us for decades? Is that a policy decision for the state of California? Of course, we thought it was. And then the argument became to the other folks in the state, is this worthy of reinvesting the sales tax? And that's what we were talking about here. This venue generates income for the city of Pasadena. It generates income for the surrounding communities. It's a driver of excitement, but yes, also economic development. And so should we take a portion of those sales tax dollars and reinvest them back into this venue? Of course, the answer is yes. But we had to convince folks in Sacramento that it wasn't creating new dollars, it was using our existing revenue to enhance venues. And, you know, I love SoFi, I hate the parking. You can laugh at that. Anybody who's gone to a game there know the parking's terrible. But, you know, it's the new shiny bauble out there. But it doesn't have the rose color that we have here. And so this is about recapturing the magic of the Rose Bowl. We've seen when teams come in here for the first time, they talk about this being America's stadium. They talk about, you know, they've played in other great stadiums around the state, but still when they come here, it means something more. And so it's the same thing when we go to the Hollywood Bowl. It's the same thing when we go to the Coliseum. We not just live in those moments, but we recapture the history and the glory that's taken place on those stadiums, on those stages. And so that's why this is exciting. I was proud to be the author of SB 96. I was proud to work with a great coalition of folks to get it through the legislature. And, you know, the governor was, you know, his team was intimately involved in the conversations. They took this issue seriously. Obviously, we got the signature, but in working with his finance team and working with his folks, it was a robust conversation about why it's important to reinvest in these venues. And of course, the governor agreed with us and signed the bill. So I want to say thank you to Mayor Gordo, thank you to the supervisor, thank you to Jens and Deedon and the entire Rose Bowl team, and that word legacy. Because we are here perpetuating and continuing the legacy of the Rose Bowl and reinvesting in that legacy by using today's dollars to do it. And so thank you, everybody, for coming out today. We are going to hear from a number of other folks to hear why this is so important. I'm just pleased to be part of it and glad that the governor signed it. And we're going to continue to fight on and fight on. There you go. And then I was going to say, and we're going to 8-clap. Right, we have to give deference to both teams. Right, we're going to fight on and 8-clap in the Rose Bowl. Right, we have to give deference to both. And so today, even though it says UCLA behind us, it's all about the Rose Bowl itself and the great city of Pasadena. So thank you all for being out, and thank you for letting me shepherd this bill. You're introducing the next.
Just as important as it is for the players and the coaches to walk on that turf for the first time, these performers to grace those stages, this is an appointment venue. The Coliseum, the Hollywood Bowl, those are appointment venues for fans alike. And we're going to see that firsthand as the Big Ten Conference comes, as USC and UCLA join that conference around town. It's going to be one of the biggest economic impact decisions that this city and this county have seen in quite some time. So we're excited to share this venue with more and more people from around the country. Our next speaker is Los Angeles County Supervisor Catherine Barger. Supervisor Barger is a great friend of the Rose Bowl, great friend of so many here in LA County, and represents the 5th district of the county, which is home to nearly 2 million people. It's a lot. It's the largest county it's the largest district in the county. Her leadership touches 2,800 square miles, which includes 22 cities, 70 unincorporated communities, including right here in the San Gabriel Valley. Born and raised in the 5th district, Catherine has accomplished so much in her role in protecting the important neighborhoods, communities, and environmental spaces that make the 5th district so special. She's been a very active contributor and advocate of the Rose Bowl's preservation efforts as it heads towards the 2028 Olympic Games, and her sponsorship with the other supervisors of SB 96 is a very literal message of that preservation and protection of that importance. With the effort of SB 96, Supervisor Barger was a key strategist in its passing. Given her representation with the county in the Coliseum, and the Hollywood Bowl, and the Rose Bowl, Catherine quickly got full public support from all the LA County supervisors, which was a key move in that process of getting this passed. We want to welcome a great friend of the Rose Bowl and to all of LA County, Supervisor Catherine Barger.
First of all, good afternoon. What an exciting day it is. And I want to publicly thank you, Senator Portantino, for your work, but I'm glad that you recognized Mayor Gordo and his vision. I remember when I was first elected, this was a priority for you as it related to the city of Pasadena and the legacy, not only your participation with the bowl, but also as the mayor of Pasadena, recognizing that this truly is iconic. I have friends, I went to school in Ohio, I have friends that when they come here, they want to see the Rose Bowl. And it's because they identify this with LA County. So I want to thank you, Mayor Gordo, I want to thank you, Senator Portantino, and I want to thank the governor, because it took his signature to bring it across the finish line. And what that tells me is that when you work together, you're better. And we're seeing the fruits of our labor today. I know that everyone here and countless people in our communities cannot think of any place more special than here. I know I also, while I didn't do AYSO, I have fond memories of coming to the Rose Bowl as a child. It was truly something that I looked forward to every year, to come to the bowl game with my father. And so I cherish the memories that I have of the Rose Bowl, but I want it to be there and preserved for future generations, which is why this is so important. With the 2028 Olympics just around the corner, we need to ensure these venues are in tip-top shape to host athletes and fans from across the globe. And for those of you that don't know, I actually just redistricted through the board and now have the Hollywood Bowl and the Rose Bowl as part of my district. And so I am thrilled that the Hollywood Bowl is part of my district, but also I cannot think of greater partners than you all that worked on getting this across the finish line as well. It did take the entire group to help the senator make sure that their voices were heard. So I want to publicly also thank the Hollywood Bowl for their determination, because while we're talking about the Rose Bowl and we're here today, make no mistake, the Hollywood Bowl is going to reinvest to ensure that the historic preservation of that facility is also met. And the same with the Coliseum. So this is going to be really game-changing, excuse the pun, for all these facilities. I, in closing, want to say that we have a lot of challenges ahead of us. And, you know, Anthony, you started to say reinvest, but it's actually investing, and you're right, it is investing. We are reinvesting, but we're also investing, not only in the bricks and mortar of this facility, but the historical significance of not only the Rose Bowl, but also the Hollywood Bowl and the Coliseum. So I am honored that I was able to be a partner. Thank you for letting me be along on this journey. But more importantly, I look forward to the next venture, because we've all got challenges ahead of us. And together, we will make it better. So with that, thank you. And thank you to the entire team at the Rose Bowl for being incredible partners. You called and we came, and when you needed the motion from my colleagues who didn't even think twice about supporting it, it was because you all reached out and said, we need this now. So I want to thank the entire team at the Rose Bowl as well. And with that, I look forward to January 1st. It's right around the corner. And with that, thank you.
Yeah, the Rose Bowl's been doing a lot of work leading the way, not just in the state, but around the country. We started the Historic Stadium Caucus out in D.C., which is a collective of about 21 historic college football-centric stadiums that need a similar attitude and a similar investment in their own infrastructure, in their own communities. And what SB 96 has done is created a living example that we can share across the country with our colleagues, but also learn from them and what's working for them in their communities as well. Secondarily, we're very blessed to be owned by such a prideful community, the city of Pasadena. This venue behind us, like many of the other ones we experience statewide and nationwide, is a venue for the community. So I'd like to take, before we bring up our last speaker, I'd like to take a moment. If there's anybody here from the Rose Bowl Operating Company Board, the City Council, or city staff, past or present, please stand and be acknowledged. You guys are what drive the heartbeat of the Rose Bowl and so many other initiatives around this state. Thank you. And symbolically, our next speaker is the Mayor of Pasadena, Victor Gordo. Mayor Gordo has been here for a long, long time. Pasadena is in his blood. He grew up here, and he's a proud product of the Pasadena Unified School District. A high-level athlete in high school, Victor went on to attend Pasadena City College and then Azusa Pacific University before beginning his public service to the city of Pasadena in 1997. He was the president of the Rose Bowl Operating Company Board for over 10 years, so he understands the critical nature and the value of historical venues around the state because of his influence here with the Rose Bowl over the years. He was elected as mayor of Pasadena in 2020, and he's guided the city through so much already. As you've heard already, Mayor Gordo is a huge reason why SB 96 is in front of us today as a new opportunity. On behalf of the city of Pasadena, I'd like to welcome Mayor Victor Gordo.
You all know my line. We're doing pretty well today, right? How's everybody doing? This is let me just say how proud I am of our team. This is truly a team effort. It's unbelievable that here we are, a year or so after we brought the bill to Senator Portantino and Supervisor Barger's attention. You know, this idea, so if you understand preservation, you understand the importance of preservation, not just for the sake of preservation, but because it's also an economic development tool. It's also a way to protect what we're doing here, our historic treasures. The first time I walked into the Rose Bowl, I didn't actually walk onto the field. I walked the concourse selling stuffed footballs in 83 or 84? I always look to Jens to remind me, 84, when the Redskins were playing the Dolphins. I still got it. When the Redskins were playing the Dolphins, and I sold stuffed footballs here. And then it was at halftime, walking by one of these tunnels on this side here, when one of the ushers said, hey, to my friend Lewis and I, would you like to go in and see the stadium, or see the field, see the game? And it was right after halftime. Everyone had already gone in. Most of our job was done selling the stuffed footballs. So we walked in, and we walked in just at a moment when all the flashes were going off. And there was a big play, and I was from that moment on, I was hooked with the Rose Bowl Stadium. I've had the opportunity to be a part of this stadium since then. In one way or another, I always intend to be a part of this stadium. And so that was my first time. And then, you know, as I traveled, as we did this summer with our family, to places like Greece and Spain, you realize, wow, people come and visit to see these historic venues. You realize that, back to the importance of preservation, not for the sake of preservation, but a sense of pride in a community, preserving our history, but also providing economic opportunity. The Rose Bowl is an economic engine. The Rose Bowl, and remember that, the Rose Bowl is an economic engine. It generates jobs. It generates attention for Pasadena. It generates tourism. And that was the argument that I made to the governor. I want to read to all of you the text I sent to the governor when we were all anxiously awaiting his signature. Supervisor Barger and Senator Portantino, all of us. And I said to the governor in a text, Governor, this is Victor Gordo in Pasadena, Mayor. I hope you and yours are well. I'm asking that you sign SB 96 and help us protect the Rose Bowl and other historic California and national treasures. SB 96 is a minimal contribution from the state. Already Pasadena and the County of Los Angeles are partnering, so we would love for the state to do its part. As you so eloquently stated, in California, first there was the Gold Rush, and then there was the Rose Bowl. Best Victor. His response, thanks, we'll get right on it and dive deeper. And I said, thank you. And when he let us know, about a week later that he'd signed, he responded, dove deeper. And so I want to say thank you to the governor of California for, one, recognizing the importance of this historic venue, but recognizing also the importance of the economic and tourism opportunity that this historic venue and others represent for the state of California. And I think as long as we continue to blend those two arguments, we'll be successful. Deedon talked a little bit about the Historic Venues Caucus at the national level. I do think that's going to pick up steam. And it should, because these national treasures, if we don't protect them, if we allow, nothing against SoFi, but if we allow corporately owned, billionaire-owned stadiums to continue to wipe out stadiums like the Rose Bowl, and they have. Remember, the Rose Bowl is the last venue that's still where its namesake game is still played. The last one. Orange Bowl's gone, all of those venues are gone, and it's because of new stadiums. And if we allow that to continue to happen, then we will have lost a part of our culture, we will have lost a part of our history, and we will have lost beautiful structures like the Rose Bowl. And importantly, all of the memories that come with a historic venue like the Rose Bowl. So, Senator, thank you. You championed it in Sacramento. We very much appreciated it. Supervisor, you were right there every time in our strategy sessions. How do we get this thing through? To our people in Sacramento, thank you. And to the Rose Bowl staff, Deedon, all of you, Jens, Meredith, the whole staff, thank you. On behalf of all residents of Pasadena, past, current, and future, thank you for doing your part to preserve our historic and beautiful Rose Bowl Stadium. Thank you.
There's so many cool people here today. I mean, from the Pasadena Playhouse to the Pasadena Center Operating Company, Pasadena Heritage. This is a very iconically historic city that we stand in, that many of us live in and serve. And it's no different around our county, around our state. So thank you all for being here. We want to continue the celebration. We're going to head downstairs to the East Locker Room, which is to my left, your right. And we're going to go down there and just be social and hang out for a little bit. But we really appreciate all of you being here today. We appreciate all of our speakers, Senator Portantino, Supervisor Barger, Mayor Gordo. Thank you to the state for their trust and belief in the continued impact of these historical venues in so many ways. And we're excited for the challenge at the Rose Bowl Stadium, as well as the other impacted venues around the country. I like the tone, Supervisor, of investment. This isn't a reinvestment. We have not gone anywhere. We're as vibrant as we've ever been, as are these other venues, and we're excited for what SB 96 is going to allow us to do for those next steps. So thank you for attending, and we look forward to seeing you down at the reception if you plan to stay. Thank you.